Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be welding out everything on this 8-inch entryway that I've been working on. What I mean by weld out is finish all the welds. Up until this point, everything has just got tacks in it or maybe one pass, but everything is not, the welds are not finished. So we're gonna be doing that, but I'm also going to be sharing some tips about uphill welding on the gate hinges. Yes, even pipeline welders weld uphill. For those of you who don't know me, maybe this is the first video you're watching of mine, I have a pipeline background, and on new construction pipelines, we weld with a downhill process. A lot of times, not always, it's very common. But on these gate hinges and on structural projects, it is common to weld uphill, so that is necessary to know as a welder in general. And I'm gonna be sharing some of my tips for uphill welding in this video. Hey, what's up guys? We're back out here on this 8-inch entryway job. Got the gates hung in last week's video. Now I just have to finish welding everything out. I've got my first pass and some of this welded out, and I got my first pass in all this side. I just gotta finish welding it out, and then put another pass on my gate hinges, weld some clips on for him to stretch his fence from the end of each of these braces. Now, let's get to welding. Alright, got her all welded out. Now I'm fixing to weld some fence clips on right here on the end, so he can stretch his wire from them instead of having to wrap wire around this post, so it'll look cleaner. I'm gonna weld some clips out here and you can just tie to the clips. That is another thing that I cannot take credit for. A guy by the name of Blaine that does some fence around here. I've helped him in the past, and that's where I got that idea. You know, he does that and his fence looks real clean. So I like clean. Clean, clean. Clean is nice, nice is clean. Okay, so here's a close-up of the hinges. Whenever I hung these gates, I just put one little pass, but I'm going back and I'm putting one big pass. These are some heavy gates, so I want to make sure this is welded on good. I'm using 332 7018. 7018 is what you want to use on anything that has to be structurally sound, or like definitely gates, definitely a heavy gate. You want to use 7018. 7018 is just what you're supposed to use. 7018 is essentially stronger, and what is definitely recommended for hanging gates, especially gates of this size. So with this 2012 SAE 300 diesel machine of mine, this knob, it don't just have gears on this machine, it's got, you can put it wherever you want. And I got it right on the E and on 50 right now, running this pass on this hinge with 332 7018. I'm running uphill, so I'm starting at the bottom. I'm going up. That is the proper way to run this traditional 7018. And I am holding it on the edges, staying out of the middle. Hold here, and then just gradually going up. I don't know if you can see it, there's a little bit of undercut. Not a big deal on this stuff, and probably would even be within code on like something that had to be within code. But the whole idea is to have your heat just right and be pausing on the edge long enough for it to fill in that undercut, and then gradually moving your way up. There you have it. On to the next one. Up yonder way. So on everything else besides the gates, I weld downhill on my fence. I use 80-10, but that's just because of my pipeline background. I like the way it runs, but a guy could use 60-10, 60-13. A guy or girl could even use 70-18 and weld uphill on the horizontals. It literally doesn't matter on fence. In fact, I've had a couple questions recently on if a guy needs certifications to weld on fence, and the answer is no, you do not need to be certified to weld on fence. So this is the first pass that I literally just kind of throw in there just to fill the gap. Yeah, it's real ugly, but I ain't worried about it. Sometimes I'll whip one around like that. It's not too big of a gap. And yes, that would hold, but wouldn't you rather it be a little better looking? I ain't saying it's slick, but I mean it's just more consistent in my opinion. And the reason it feels unfinished if I leave something like that over there and it's not consistent. That's why I have a habit. To me, this is finished and the other is not finished, even though it would work. I don't know, some of it's my OCD. I just like the way stuff looks whenever it's consistent. perfect timing. It's starting to rain anyway. Karen, get in the truck. Get in the truck, 'cause you're gonna swell up. Don't just look at me, get in the truck. Go on, get in the truck. Ah, dang. My advice for this week is communicate. Over-communicate. Communication is everything, in my opinion. There's so much to be had from communicating. It can be helpful in relationships, in your marriage, in business. It's just good to communicate. Now, I definitely don't know it all and do not have it all figured out, so don't think that I do just because I shared advice at the end of my videos. I'm learning as I go here, just like you. But everything that I learn, I like to share in hopes that it helps you move a little faster in wherever you're trying to get with your welding career or with wherever you're at in life. So I just like to share my experiences, and that's what I'm doing here. So communication is super, super helpful. I've learned that, and I just wanted to share that with you. So don't be afraid to reach out to people, even if they haven't reached out to you. Send a text, make a phone call, communicate. A lot comes from communication. Opportunities come from communication. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go check out my website, arosswelding.com, for tools, the circle burner, the welding shirts, the soapstone, blue books, digital prints, merch. Let us know in the comments what you want to see in the Aross Welding store. That's who it's for. It's for you. So we want to make sure that we are adding value to the store. Thanks again for watching. And remember, learn something every day.